Humans are strange. Compared to almost every other mammal on Earth, we're practically naked. Polar bears have thick fur for the cold. Lions have fur for protection. Even monkeys, our closest relatives, are covered in hair. But humans somehow lost most of it, which raises a strange question. Why would evolution remove something so useful? Millions of years ago, our ancestors were covered in fur. So, what happened to it? And more importantly, did losing our fur help turn humans into the dominant species on Earth? At first glance, losing fur seems like a terrible evolutionary decision. Fur protects animals from cold temperatures, sunlight, insects, scratches, even predators. Without it, animals become vulnerable. So why would humans slowly evolve to become nearly hairless? Scientists have debated this question for decades, and surprisingly, the answer may have changed the entire course of human evolution. To understand why humans lost their fur, we need to go back millions of years into ancient Africa, back when our ancestors looked very different from us. Around 6 to 7 million years ago, the ancestors of humans lived in hot African environments alongside other primates. And just like chimpanzees today, they were most likely covered in thick, dark fur. But the world they lived in was changing. Forests began shrinking, grasslands expanded, and survival became harder. Instead of spending all their time in trees, some early humans started walking long distances across open land, and walking under the African sun created a serious problem: heat. The human brain is incredibly sensitive to overheating. Even a small increase in brain temperature can become dangerous. Most animals solve this problem through panting. Dogs pant, lions pant. Many mammals rely on rapid breathing to cool down. But humans evolved something very different. Something almost no other animal does as effectively as we do: sweating. Humans are among the best sweaters on Earth. Our skin contains millions of sweat glands capable of cooling the body extremely efficiently. When sweat evaporates, it removes heat from the skin like a natural cooling system. But there was a problem. Fur traps heat. A thick coat of hair makes sweating less effective because sweat can't evaporate properly. And in the brutal African heat, overheating could mean death. So over thousands of generations, humans with slightly less body hair may have survived better. They could stay cooler longer, travel farther, and hunt more effectively under the sun. Eventually, this may have led to one of humanity's greatest evolutionary advantages: endurance. Humans are not the fastest animals, we are not the strongest, but we are incredibly good at long-distance movement. In fact, humans can outrun many animals simply by refusing to stop. Ancient humans likely used a hunting method called persistence hunting. Instead of sprinting after prey, humans slowly chased animals over extremely long distances. Animals covered in fur would overheat and collapse from exhaustion. But humans could continue moving, step after step, hour after hour, because while other animals overheated, humans cooled themselves through sweat. Some scientists believe losing fur helped transform humans into endurance specialists, and that endurance may have helped early humans hunt more successfully, explore farther, migrate across continents, and survive changing climates. In a strange way, the loss of fur may have helped humans conquer the planet. But sweating alone may not explain everything, because there's another mystery. If humans lost fur to stay cool, why do we still have hair in certain places? We still have hair on our heads, eyebrows, eyelashes, and body hair, which suggests some hair still served important purposes. Hair on the head may have protected the brain from direct sunlight while still allowing cooling across the rest of the body. Eyebrows help redirect sweat away from the eyes. Eyelashes protect against dust and debris. In other words, humans didn't simply lose hair randomly. Evolution kept the hair that still provided advantages and removed much of the rest. But there may have been another powerful force influencing human appearance: sexual selection. Some scientists believe hair loss may also have been influenced by attraction. In evolution, survival isn't enough. You also need to reproduce. And over time, traits considered attractive can spread throughout a species. It's possible that smoother skin became associated with health, fewer parasites, youth, or better hygiene. If early humans preferred less hairy partners, those traits could gradually become more common. meaning human appearance may have been shaped not only by survival, but by attraction itself. And slowly, over millions of years, humans became the strangely hairless species we are today. Unlike other animals, humans didn't rely entirely on biology. We adapted using tools. At some point, early humans learned to control fire, and fire changed everything. It provided warmth, protection, cooked food, and light during the night. For most mammals, surviving cold environments requires thicker fur, but humans slowly replaced fur with something else: intelligence. Instead of growing thicker coats, humans created shelters, wore animal skins, built fires, and eventually made clothing. This is one of the strangest things about human evolution. Most animals adapt physically, humans adapt externally. We reshape the environment around us instead of waiting for evolution to reshape us, and over time, this may have reduced the evolutionary need for thick body fur altogether. Because once humans could create warmth artificially, nature no longer needed to provide it biologically. There's another theory that may explain why humans lost so much fur: parasites. Millions of years ago, early humans lived in environments filled with ticks, fleas, lice, mites, and disease-carrying insects. And thick fur creates the perfect hiding place for parasites. For many animals, parasites are more than just annoying. They spread infections, drain energy, and sometimes kill their hosts entirely. As humans began living in larger social groups, parasite transmission likely became an even bigger problem. More contact meant more opportunities for disease to spread, but less body hair may have made parasites easier to spot and remove. In fact, some scientists believe losing fur may have dramatically reduced the number of dangerous parasites humans carried, and this could have changed human survival in ways we rarely think about. Because before modern medicine, tiny parasites could shape the fate of entire populations. So, in a strange way, human skin itself may have become part of our defense system. As humans lost fur, our skin became far more exposed to the environment, and that exposure created new evolutionary pressures. Suddenly, sunlight mattered much more, especially in Africa, where intense ultraviolet radiation could damage the body over time. This may explain why early humans evolved darker skin pigmentation, melanin, the pigment responsible for darker skin, which helps protect against harmful UV radiation. Without thick fur, skin itself became the body's frontline defense. And as humans later migrated into colder regions with less sunlight, skin tones gradually changed again. Lighter skin allowed humans in darker climates to absorb more sunlight for vitamin D production. So, strangely enough, the loss of fur may have influenced the evolution of human skin color itself. One evolutionary change triggered another, and another, until humans became biologically unlike almost any other mammal on Earth. But losing fur also came with serious disadvantages. Without thick body hair, humans became far more vulnerable to the environment. Cold temperatures became dangerous, sunburn became possible, cuts and injuries became more exposed, and surviving harsh climates became much harder. Most mammals carry their protection with them everywhere they go. Humans do not. A polar bear survives the Arctic because its body is built for it. A tiger survives cold nights because its fur keeps heat trapped close to the skin. But humans eventually survived some of the harshest places on Earth with almost no natural protection at all, which meant we had to compensate in other ways. We built shelters, created clothing, used animal skins, and controlled fire. In a sense, humans traded biological protection for adaptability, and that trade changed everything. Because instead of evolving for one specific environment, humans learned to survive in almost any environment, from deserts to forests to freezing mountains, because our intelligence allowed us to overcome our physical weaknesses. And perhaps that's the strangest part of all. Humans became one of the most successful species on Earth, partly because we stopped relying entirely on our bodies. Our hairlessness may look like a weakness, but it helped shape one of the most adaptable species in history. And maybe that's the strange truth about evolution. Sometimes survival isn't about becoming stronger, it's about becoming different. Because millions of years ago, somewhere under the burning African sun, a nearly hairless ape kept walking, and eventually that ape became us. A species capable of crossing continents, surviving nearly every environment on Earth, and eventually asking questions about its own existence. And all of it may have started when we lost our fur.